What is good, people? What is good, YouTube? Long time no see. Long time no see. I think it's been like 5 days or something since I posted the last video. And sorry for that. I was trying to work on like the blockchain project I was talking about earlier, like with the website and all that stuff. And it was going to be cool, but I don't know if it worked out. Hence the name of this, what I will name this video. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna name it yet, but I'll probably name it something like starting a business is basically impossible or something like that. Which that's not like 100% true, obviously, because it's been done before, but it's just pretty hard to do, which I realized. And I guess I'll get into some of the reasons why in this video. But hopefully it's not all over yet. We'll see what happens. Yeah, one of the, like, I guess the people I was working, my business partners, you could call that. One of them, it's like the men's alignment's there, but the other one is not. So it is what it is. Let's get into the script here. Starting a business is hard, almost impossible, but don't think it's impossible. That's just like kind of like a joke in a way of me. I mean, it's true, but that doesn't mean to discourage you. But yeah, let's just get into it here. Starting a startup, anything is pretty hard. Anything, a business, or honestly, literally anything, is like pretty hard. When you try to start a business, generally, the people who are at the beginning have some sort of reason or a collection of reasons as to why they even want to start the enterprise in the first place, rather than either getting a job or just simply doing nothing at all. And in today's age, where we are witnessing an atomized populace in countries all around the world, and in some cases, it's probably even more common and makes more sense to do nothing than otherwise. So not even getting a job, not starting to start a business, and just not participating in general society at all. Hence, like, people going MGTOW and stuff like that. I mean, it just makes so much sense to me. Literally, every time I try to not be MGTOW, I end up going back to MGTOW because it just makes way too much sense. Honestly, like my forays outside of MGTOW, like it just simply doesn't. Like just MGTOW makes so much sense. I'm gonna try to not, like, I'll keep trying to take forays out into quote unquote society. I mean, if you want to call it, like you should see around the area where I live, nobody goes outside anymore. It's literally, I mean, it's toward the end of summer now, but it's like prime time. Granted, it has been smoky though. It has been smoky, so maybe that might be part of it. Maybe that might be part of it. But honestly, even before, like, it's been smoky for the past like week and a half. But even before that, nobody was like going out. Nobody was doing shit. So like, how? To what extent do you want to put that label on like society? Do we have a society? That's a question that I will pose to you guys because I don't know the answer to that honestly. But yeah, so let me list some of the reasons why it is more common, it seems like, in today's age to do nothing rather than otherwise. You ask yourself questions like, what would I be giving my energy to? Is this worth it in the short run? Is this worth it in the long run? Who and what am I working for? Does this work make society better or worse? Does this work make my own position better or worse? Etc. Those are just a few of the questions, the various questions that either consciously or subconsciously someone is going to ask themselves when taking on anything, to be honest, when doing anything. The lack of solid answers to many of these questions make it appear that doing nothing may be better than doing anything at all. And like I say, I don't want to get too far into that, but I mean, it's just logic. A great man once told me that you can't only use logic to navigate the world, or else you're basically fucked. He didn't say basically fucked. I put in the basically fucked. But if you just use logic to navigate the world, like you'll have just, like, I mean, like we said, just prior in the script, it might make more sense for you to do nothing when you just look at logic. So that's why you have to use things other than simply logos to navigate the globe here. When China started business, these such questions, as we stated earlier, are basically impossible to really answer if you're being honest with yourself. And this is what makes it hard, if not basically impossible in many cases, to start up any kind of enterprise. Even if you get through that initial stage of just deciding to get started, you have the issues that arise with keeping the team together if you have a team. This is why one of my goals, I guess you could say, is making it easier for and encouraging people to like be able to work for themselves. But that takes a lot of different things. That takes the average person having a chunk of money, which is not the case in today's day and age, for various reasons, like we discussed. It takes the average person having some sort of agency, which is not the case necessarily in this day and age, as we've discussed in earlier videos. So that takes a lot of different stuff to be able to like to happen on a society-wide level. So that is like maybe an impossible goal, but I guess that's like one of my goals for some strange reason. Yeah. At least for myself, if not all of society. But I mean, if like you can't try to bring someone to do something that they don't want to do. So this is what it is. But yeah, like there's many issues that arise with keeping the team together. If you have a team, perhaps there's a difference in the direction that the members believe the enterprise should take. Start that one. Perhaps there are egos to contend with while working on the project. Perhaps there are technical challenges and a skills gap among the members of the enterprise. Perhaps there's a differing level of enthusiasm for different tasks necessary to make the project a proper business. You could start that one too. Perhaps there is a time difference or something similar among members, thus making it difficult to meet up together all at the same time. And finally, perhaps most deadly, start this one. Perhaps there is a differing view of and respect for money, currency, and the things necessary to acquire this money or currency, especially in this day and age. Things are atomized like crazy for a reason. And don't want to get into all of this. We've discussed it in prior videos, and we'll probably discuss it in future videos, but that is like that is definitely a start point there. So a lot of things make enterprises difficult to begin and sustain. And as you may have guessed, I'm experiencing some of that now, obviously, like I mentioned earlier. So finally, I'll end it off with this. No one else other than the group seems to really care or even know what you're doing. So this is part of the reason why I'm venting out to YouTube a little bit, yeah. Partly that, and then also partly because I don't even know if that thing, at least my role in it, may continue. So I'm going back to kind of doing what I was doing prior to when I got super involved in that. Yeah, like I think it's gonna be really important just to have your own thing going first before you get into anything else, especially moving forward. I don't know if it's been that way. Like I said, I'm just getting into the workforce, so to speak, within the past year. I've been in school for way far too long. And as I talk with some of the people on the Discord, it seems like a lot of us have fallen into the path of thinking like our list of things to get done in life in general was kind of warped in the sense of we kind of went a direction that we didn't really want to go that much, but we just didn't know any better at the time, so we listened to other perspectives. And I mean, including our parents, right? Like, I mean, at least me personally, that was what would make my parents the most happy. Like, they were super happy with me up until a year ago. Like, they were very happy with me until like around a year and a half ago. Actually, they were very happy with me. Post ever since that year and a half, not so much. But I guess they understand it now. But they're definitely not as happy with me. So there's a certain amount of reasons why you don't necessarily just follow your gut feeling. But then it sucks because as you get older, you have to live with all the consequences of what you did. So if you don't follow your gut feelings and you find yourself in a place where you don't necessarily want to be, then you get in that position of like, okay, now you're like blaming other people. You're blaming yourself for not just listening to yourself. You're just kind of beating yourself up for no reason. Like, you feel like you lost a certain amount of time that you won't get back. There's all these different things that arise when you just don't follow your gut feelings, especially if you're young. But it's probably better if it happens when you're young, because I think there's a certain amount of things to learn, especially as a male, that you live with the consequences of what you do. And from a society-wide level, that's true, but even more importantly, from a personal level. From a personal level, you will beat yourself up for not listening to yourself. I don't know if it's, obviously I'm not a woman, so I don't know if it's the same with women. I used to think men and women were basically the same in most things, but obviously we're talking about red pill and stuff. I learned that that's not the case. So all I can speak for is as a man, like a boy going into a man, or just a man in general, you will like attack yourself more so than any other entity that will attack you if you don't follow what you think is right, because you have to live with the consequences of it. Nobody else does. And as a man, you're like responsible for yourself. Like, you can't sell peace leave, you can't sell pictures, you can't do all that kind of funky stuff because people aren't going to pay you for it. Like, no one's going to pay you for a picture. No one's going to sell you. I mean, for one, you don't even have peace leave, like, but you can't sell unless, I don't know how how that whole sphere works because I'm heterosexual, but like, I'm pretty sure, like, I mean, if you're heterosexual, you're not going to sell ass or anything like that. So yeah, I mean, I'll leave it there, like, before we get into like some like gooey stuff there. But yeah, it is what it is. So just, keep, like, at least have your own thing going before you try to jump into other stuff. It's like the only advice I'd give you on that. Because you can like fall back on your own thing, but you can't fall back on somebody else's thing. Like, that's just, I mean, just by definition, this is facts. I could expand on that, but like, just, that's like that's a simple thing to understand. Like, you can't fall back on somebody else's thing because it's not yours. Even if like you put all your heart and soul into it or whatever, it's like, just at the end of the day, it's not yours. So you can't necessarily fall back on that. So yeah, that's kind of what I got for today. Me post another one today. I'll get back into kind of posting these regularly now, and I'll just keep you guys posted if you guys care at all for just what happens with that other project. We'll see. I mean, that's probably a great project, and I enjoyed working on it. So hopefully we can, like, I don't know, like, get something going on that, because it was pretty fun to do. But like I said earlier, there's just those maybe unreconcilable differences. I'm not really too sure, but it is what it is. Yeah, we'll see how the MGTOW and the titles of the videos, we'll see what happens, because it's kind of turning out that I don't really need that in the title anymore to get views. But then also at the end of the day, I do like the people though that title attracts to a certain extent. And then also I am MGTOW, and like, I mean, even in this video, right, like, I always talk about MGTOW, so it's like, it is what it is. And then also, the last thing I'll say is comments getting deleted. I can see why so many people are moving over to things like locals.com and stuff like that, because this comments getting deleted stuff is getting nuts. It's like getting crazy. It's like stupid. It's so weird. It's dumb. It's super dumb. But like comments are getting deleted left and right, so it's like pretty annoying. But I'll try to respond to as many as I can. And yeah, sometimes I honestly don't even see y'all's comments, man. Like, so, but I know you're commenting because I get a notification, but then there's nothing there. Like, it's crazy, man. I don't know. That's just algorithms or what it. Maybe YouTube doesn't have bandwidth. I try not to go to the evil side of it, but like let's just hope maybe YouTube just doesn't have the bandwidth. Who knows? I'm not sure. But that's it. This video is taking forever, so I'll catch y'all later. Peace out. Try to keep that spiritual side. Yeah, like that's pretty much it. All right, catch y'all later.